Everybody has been asking the same question over and over again, and it's getting louder by the day because right now the internet is seriously confused. Is Sonia Uche actually married, or is this just another case of fans reading too much into what they are seeing online? Because if you've been paying attention lately, you'll notice that her posts, her appearances, and even the way people around her talk has completely fueled this conversation, and it's no longer just a random rumor. It's now a full-blown discussion that fans are deeply invested in, and the truth is there are so many mixed signals flying around that it's hard to tell what is real and what is just assumption. Because on one side, you have people pointing out how private she has always been with her personal life, which already makes it difficult to confirm anything about her relationship status. And on the other side, you have those who believe that there are subtle clues that suggest something serious might actually be going on behind the scenes, and this is where things start to get really interesting, because if you check her recent photos and public appearances, nothing directly screams married. But at the same time, nothing clearly denies it either, and that kind of silence is exactly what keeps fans guessing, because in today's social media world, where most celebrities openly show off their partners, or even their weddings, the fact that she hasn't done that makes people wonder if she is intentionally keeping something private, or if there is simply nothing to reveal at all. And then you have the angle of industry rumors, because in Nollywood it's not unusual for co-stars to spark relationship speculations, especially when the on-screen chemistry feels extremely real. And this has happened multiple times with Sonia Uche, where fans start connecting her to actors she has worked closely with, but the truth is strong acting chemistry does not automatically translate to real-life romance, even though fans love to believe it does, and that is part of what keeps this whole "is she married" conversation alive, because people are constantly trying to turn professional connections into personal relationships. And another thing that adds fuel to this is how fans analyze every single detail, from rings to captions, to even the way she poses in pictures, because once people think marriage is a possibility, every small detail suddenly becomes evidence, and you'll see comments like "look at her hand," or "this caption sounds like she's taken," and it just keeps building from there, even when there is no solid confirmation. And then there's also the fact that some bloggers and gossip pages tend to exaggerate or completely twist situations just to get attention, which makes it even harder to separate facts from pure speculation, because once a headline starts trending, people rarely go back to check if it was ever confirmed. They just run with it, and before you know it, the narrative becomes something bigger than reality, and that is exactly what seems to be happening here, because despite all the noise, there has been no clear public statement from Sonia Uche confirming that she is married. And in a situation like this, silence can mean many things. It could mean she is not married at all, or it could mean she simply chooses to keep that part of her life away from the spotlight, and honestly both are completely valid, because not every celebrity wants their private life to become public content, especially in an industry where everything is constantly scrutinized and turned into headlines. And you also have to consider how quickly people jump to conclusions based on incomplete information, because someone could wear a ring for fashion or for a role and suddenly it becomes a marriage rumor, and before you know it, thousands of people are convinced something major has happened when in reality nothing has changed. And that is why it's important to look at the bigger picture instead of just isolated moments, because when you step back and observe everything as a whole, there is still no concrete proof that she is married. And until something official comes out, everything else remains speculation and fan theory. And at the same time, you can't completely dismiss the curiosity, because fans naturally want to know more about the people they admire, especially when those people are as talented and as talked about as Sonia Uche. But there's a thin line between curiosity and assumption, and right now that line is being crossed a lot in this conversation, because people are treating guesses like confirmed facts, and that's how misinformation spreads so quickly. And another angle to look at is how she carries herself, because her confidence, her style, and the way she presents her life gives off a very mature and settled vibe, which some people interpret as married energy. But again, personality and lifestyle do not equal marital status, and that's something a lot of people overlook, because they want the story to be more exciting than it actually is, and the reality might just be very simple. She is focused on her career, living her life, and choosing what to share and what not to share, and until she decides to address it directly, the question, is she really married, will keep circulating, because mystery always keeps people talking, and in a way that mystery has become part of her brand now, because the less people know, the more they speculate, And the more they speculate, the more attention it brings, and whether intentional or not, that attention keeps her name trending, which is something every public figure benefits from in one way or another. So at the end of the day, if you're looking for a clear yes or no answer, the honest truth right now is that there is no confirmed evidence that Sonia Uche is married, and everything you're seeing online is mostly built on assumptions, interpretations, and the natural curiosity of fans who are trying to connect the dots without having the full picture. And until she personally comes out to confirm anything, the question will remain open, and the conversation will keep going, because that's just how celebrity culture works, especially when it involves someone who knows how to keep people guessing without saying a word.